What's up, and welcome to the Cows Den podcast. I am Josh. What's up? With me is Matt. What's up, dude?
What is up,
So we
YouTube?
yes, yeah, kind of switching more fully towards YouTube right now, but yes, we are the Cows Den podcast. We talk comics, pop culture, nerdy shit that we can think of, whether it's movies, comics, games, all that stuff. So, this week we got actually going to start with some comic book news for you this week. You guys know I'm a huge fan of James Tynion. Something's Killing the Children, Batman. He does all kinds of shit I like. And actually, Something's Killing the Children, which is super hot right now in terms of comic books, just got announced that the writers and producers of The Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor are making a series for Netflix. So, number one, I fucking could not pick anybody better to do that show. I think that they are going to hit the tone. I think they're going to hit that like scary but not horror but not overly scary kind of feel to it. And two, if you've got any Something's Killing the Children comics, you better hang on to them because if that shit, whenever that shit comes out, those things are gonna freaking skyrocket. Um, so also related to Something's Killing the Children, coming in October, they announced the first spin-off series called House of Slaughter. That is going to be dealing with the main character in it is, see if I got it right here. Main character in it is Erica Slaughter. She's this Erica Slaughter. She is part of it's called the Order of St. George. They're just like a group of monster hunters, I guess is what you call them. And this series is going to delve more into the group and not really be focused on Erica so much, which I think is, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Erica, but I also love the idea that it's insane to think about this comic started as a 5-issue miniseries and is now blowing up. It's getting a TV show, it's getting a spin-off series. It's just incredible to see.
What number is it on?
Right now they're on 17 and 18 is
Yes.
going to come out, I think, next week, if not the week after.
Yeah, they're still limiting them one per customer.
Dude,
So
it's nuts. It's nuts. Like every issue, this thing just blew up. And speaking of which, that's also, if you were watching our previous episode, we were doing a giveaway of Something's Killing the Children. Let me see. Do I still have it? Yep. Number one, 8th print. I was doing a giveaway of this guy. All you had to do was email, comment something to get me. And I actually did choose a winner. But you know what? I'll get that a little bit later. How about that? I'll get that a little bit later. I'm not going to do that right this minute. All right. So, next order of business. Again, James Tynion. I'm just super pumped about this guy. Coming in October as well. He's doing a DC versus vampires. So, DC recently did their Deceased, which was kind of a, don't want to say rip off, but kind of a copy of Marvel Zombies. So this is going to be more so focused on vampires. But it's James Tynion, dude. I think he'll handle it well. Matthew Rosenberg is going to help him write it. He's a good writer as well. I don't know much more about it other than the fact that it's DC versus vampires, but it's coming in October. James Tynion, if you like his writing, definitely get it checked out.
do you know if it's going to be modern day or in the past?
I honestly, that's the thing. I don't know shit about it. Like all it said in the description was just in the likeness of Deceased. Now DC's taking on vampires, and that was pretty much it. Like they don't really tell you what happened or where where it originated or anything like that. So I'm trying
Cool
to
though.
see if I can't find any information on here. Okay.
I'm excited for DC doing something like that, man.
Right,
You know,
and
they do
that's the
better
thing.
writing, in my opinion.
And
Yeah, we
that's the
talk
thing
off
too, is
camera.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, no, that's the
me and
thing too.
Josh.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
Sorry,
ahead.
sorry, me and Josh talk off camera a lot about this, man. I'm not trying to downplay Marvel. Man, the MCU was the greatest thing to ever happen to comic books.
It's
Um,
undeniable. Yeah,
you
you can't
know,
deny what they did for sure.
but like I talk about this a lot. Like, let's say Marvel puts out 100, books a week. 10 of them are good. DC puts out 25. 10 of them are good. So we're
Right.
not downplaying the fact that there's not any good Marvel books. It's just the quantity versus quality. So I
And
tend to, yeah,
and so when they do, like, I don't want to say bigger stuff like this, but when they do crazier stories like this, I get more excited about it.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. Again, Marvel Zombies was incredible. It was fun. It was cool.
And Inhumans, you know,
Robert fucking Kirkman did Marvel Zombies in the beginning, so it was good. I'm not trying to.
Wait a minute. Are you a fan of Kirkman?
I mean, you can tell by this lovely shelf right here.
Yeah.
That's all Kirkman. Oh, and I even got this guy back, Matt. I got my Invincible 19.
So cool.
Let's see here where we at. Oh, Task Force Z. That's another random one coming out from DC in October. So this is Red Hood. Red Hood is going to lead a undead versions of multiple characters in a Suicide Squad like team.
Hey, so, Red Hood's down. So,
dude, exactly. I love like Red Jason Hood. Todd. Like you can't really go wrong with Jason Todd. And it's like, so the whole point is they're saying because he has experience with being dead, like because he has died before technically, and then he came back as Red Hood. But like, so right now, Bane is dead. In the series, Bane is dead. So Bane's one of the people he's bringing back. They're bringing back. They got Man-Bat, Arkham Knight, and Mr. Bloom. I have no idea who Mr. Bloom is, but that's his undead Suicide Squad.
If my memory is correct, my favorite TV show cartoon adaptation of comic books is always going to be the 90s Batman animated series. If my memory is correct, I think the first episode is actually about Man-Bat. It's the second episode that has the Christmas special with the Joker. Right. So Man-Bat's a pretty cool character. They don't do a whole lot with him. He's
in Justice League Dark sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't do enough with him. He had his own series recently. It was a short mini series thing. It's Ram V who does the Suicide or Swamp Thing. It was good. They don't do enough with him though, for sure. Yeah. Last one in terms of comics coming out soon. Again, October. We've got a bunch of announcements for October. It's called Batman the Imposter. Almost exactly like it sounds. There's an imposter dressing up like Batman, killing a bunch of people. So everyone thinks this is supposed to be like year 2 kind of Batman. So he's still young, he's still early. And
is he wearing hockey pads?
I don't know. I don't think they ever actually showed the picture of what the imposter looks like.
Because I'm not wearing hockey pads.
I mean, it's the idea. It's not. I mean, I don't want to say like, oh, it's unoriginal, but I mean, it doesn't seem like it's anything really that new. The idea of a killer running around in Batman suit. Now we're losing a little bit of focus.
Yeah.
But I don't care. It still sounds cool. I'm still excited for it. I think it'll be done well. Yeah. So DC versus Vampires is supposed to be a maxi series, 12-issue series. The Task Force Z, they kind of have left it open. I think that means they're going to be like an ongoing series, but it's more so. We'll see. I guess we'll just see when it comes out. So that's it for me on news. I am going to show this off real quick. I don't think I even told Matt that I got this bad boy back. Sent this guy out for the Ryan Otley signing. This is my Invincible 19 first appearance Battle Beast. Got this lovely sketch right here. Thing is beautiful. All right, and then okay, and then I'm just gonna talk comics for the past week or two. Batman Fortnite wrapped up, dude. Batman Fortnite number 6 wrapped up. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. This story, the Batman Fortnite story, was something I went into with extremely low expectations. I'm not gonna say I hate Fortnite, but I've never been the biggest fan of Fortnite. And then when they announced Batman Fortnite, I think there was 2 groups on this.
Sounds cheesy.
Sounds cheesy. Super excited about it because your kids love it and you wanted to get it and this and that, or you were like, "What the hell is this?" You know, you're putting Batman in Fortnite, but it was surprisingly good. The whole series was actually pretty good. I'm going to do a real big spoiler for the ending here. When they finally get out of the Fortnite area and get back to everything, they find out that it's Okay, it's Deathstroke, Lex Luthor, and the Batman Who Laughs. Because part of it was him trying to create this multi-dimensional thing. They tethered themselves into the Fortnite universe so that now if they ever want to, they can jump back and forth. So technically speaking, it's not over. But I just thought the big reveal of freaking having Lex and the Batman Who Laughs working together, which is that's just bizarre because it's like I would never expect
Right.
him to do that with Fortnite. He's such a I don't want to say more mature character, but he's like a little terrifying towards kids if you looked at him. Like if you think about it,
So I did see one of the covers. Do they kill the frog guy from Fortnite?
yes,
Okay.
yes,
I
but I
saw
mean,
that on a cover.
you know,
But yeah.
who knows if they're gonna keep him dead? Who knows if it's like the fish guy.
Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah.
remember his name either. They say his name in there, but I don't. It's that's the thing. I don't know a whole lot about Fortnite. I'm not gonna lie. I've played a little bit more recently because of this book and because of my son loves it. So I've played a little bit more recently, but I still have no idea when it comes to who's who in the Fortnite universe.
Right.
Oh, Nice House on the Lake from James Tynion again. I'm gonna talk the shit out of this guy. Number 2 came out. This is a horror book that I cannot get enough of, man. It's if I haven't explained the premise yet, 12 people get invited to a lake house for a weekend, and crazy shit happens. Like I don't want to spoil it because man, the end of the first issue was incredible. It was just a twist that I was not like. No matter what you're expecting, you don't really see it coming. And issue 2 was still really good. The issue 1 kind of had that crazy twist at the end, so I kind of do still like the first issue a little bit more. But issue 2 it's solid. It's a 12 issue series, so it's solid in moving along the story. So definitely, if you liked it, if you liked the issue 1, definitely grab issue 2. And now the last comic I want to talk about, and the most important comic I want to talk about, Skybound X. I know Matt read at least the first issue of this. So,
Yeah, and I'm going to pick up the second one because next Wednesday I made sure that I'm getting up there. So
Skybound X is a comic celebrating the 10th anniversary of Skybound, hence the Skybound X. It's showcasing a lot of their old stories, mixing in a lot of their new stories, talking about stuff that they could be potentially doing in the future. One of the big reveals of this is Clementine. I'm going to scoot this real close to you here, see if you can see it. Clementine, it's blurry, but Clementine is from the Walking Dead video games, the Telltale games. But she's never appeared in comics before. So this is her first time being in comics and kind of explaining some of her story. You read the first issue, though, right?
yeah.
So I'm not too sure who's who. It shows her talking to a kid. I assume the kid is like her brother or something to that effect, maybe from the games. I don't know
I never played
anything about her
those
backstory.
ones.
Yeah, I never played the Telltale games. Personally, I'm just not a huge fan of the Telltale games, but
Man,
that's just my
so
opinion.
side note, how awesome would it be if Bethesda made a Walking Dead
Like a
RPG,
huge
like
open world RPG. Oh my
where
gosh, yeah,
you
dude.
could eventually go to like Woodbury and the prison and all these different areas and
Commonwealth and
everything, and
all
you could
that,
set up
dude. Yeah,
factions. Yeah,
dude. Yeah. And even
I
even
never
like
got
you
into the
guys,
Telltale series either.
right? It's just like I said to me. I don't know. I don't like the whole decision based gaming, but that's just me. That's just a personal opinion. I know a lot of people
Yeah,
did like it. It sold a lot, and people were super excited to see Clementine finally come to the comics. So, her story was fine. I just don't know. I don't know enough about it to say, oh yeah, it was amazing. Um, Now, the best thing to come out of it though was Rick Grimes 2000. Rick Grimes.
oh yeah,
So Rick Grimes 2000 was an alternate storyline. I want to say it was issue 75. I want to say it was issue 75 that in the back of the issue, they introduced this alternate storyline. It is just bonkers, off the wall crazy. The idea is that
yeah.
the entire undead infestation, I guess, or whatever, is created by aliens. And
So it goes back to a call where like he was asked and he kept getting asked how it started, and finally he was like, okay, well, it was alien spores,
right? Because in The Walking Dead, they never tell
yeah,
you. That's what I
yeah,
that's one thing I love about the story is they never tell you. They never tell
yep.
you for sure what happened. But
I
yeah,
think this is a play off of that, which is
right.
pretty
And
cool.
man, it's so crazy. It's so off the wall fucking crazy. Like it starts with him waking with Rick Grimes waking up in a freaking alien ship, and he's got this robot hand where his fucking hand was cut off, and he is immediately shot down to Earth where everybody's fighting. Some people are fighting against the aliens, some people are fighting with the aliens, or fighting against the zombies. It's just all nuts, man. And what I love, and again, I'm going to spoil some of the first issue. What I freaking loved was that right out the gate, Michonne shows up and she's all, Rick, I got you. And then, and she's just
Here
dead,
comes the governor.
just dead. Yeah. Governor. It was Governor who just freaking chomps her head in half, dude. And it was, I love Michonne, and she's probably my favorite part of the story, to be honest with you. She's probably my favorite character in the books, and honestly, maybe my favorite character in the show. But dude, it was just great to see him Kirkman say, you know what, fuck it, we're just going way off the wall with this. We're just gonna kill off one of the main
You
characters.
you like her more than Negan?
I said one of, or did I say I may have said
no,
I may have said my favorite character. Okay,
no, don't get me wrong, Michonne's my favorite good good guy.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Favorite,
I guess you could term him good guy.
I like her better than Rick. Let me just say that. I love Rick.
Yeah,
but like I like
Rick's
her.
great. Yeah,
and no,
her story arc. Well, and I hate to get off on a tangent, but like that's honestly the part that I'm going to hate the most is not seeing Rick, and not seeing the Rick ending in the Commonwealth. Right. But it's about I'm going to miss seeing Michonne being reunited with her daughter.
Yep,
that was so fucking hardcore in the book, man.
They said that she didn't have any kids, or they're all dead, or something in the show, right? Like she's not even.
They're dead. They're dead.
Yeah. So I don't.
Well, and
play that or not, but
they could have because like so she leaves to go on like a run, and when she comes back, the camp is overran. So she assumes that I don't think they've ever. I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch. I know that she took her boyfriend and her boyfriend's friend and made them into zombie walkers.
Right.
But I can't remember if they ever actually said if she saw her baby dead. But irregardless, that's what I'm going to miss the most from the Commonwealth. That's not going to be available because Michonne's not on the show right now. So, yeah,
I didn't even know that. I'm so far behind on the show still.
She's
I was been gone through the show, and then I kind of I stopped for a little bit. Yeah, it's depressing that like one way or another, there's kind of no way they could end it the same way as the books right now. There's kind of no way. I mean,
no, because they're going to end the show before the Rick movies come out and everything.
That's what I mean. Is like Carl's dead. Rick.
The only
gone apparently. Like it.
Right. And I was going to say something, but then I forgot that, they announced that they're going to do a Daryl and Carol spinoff. I was like, well, maybe they could have Daryl die, but no, because they're going to do a Daryl and Carol spinoff. So, it's, is what it is.
Yeah. So, Rick Grimes 2000, though, man, effing fucking nuts, dude. It is all over the place. I love it. I'm not going to spoil anything for issue 2 because Matt hasn't read issue 2 yet. But I love it. It's like it kills me because the only thing I have to complain about it is that it's too short. Like I wish there was more.
Yeah,
that's my only complaint.
I agree.
So it's so crazy. I love it so much. I can't wait to see. There's 5 issues of Skybound X. I can't wait to see. That's like the one consistency in all 5 issues is Rick Grimes 2000. Because the other ones are them showcasing other comics. And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of other awesome comics. Ultra Mega's in it. Let me see here. Manifest Destiny. I had no idea what that was, but when I read the first one, it was pretty good. It's weird, but it was good. They showcase all kinds of stuff in it. So that's not the only thing in it, but that, in my opinion, is by far the best thing in it. Okay, and then I finally got my my second Star Wars High Republic book. This is the outer thing for it. I've been reading the High Republic books. I read the first one and couldn't stop talking about it on here, and reading the second one now. And dude, these are good books in my opinion. I mean, I know a lot of people are. There's kind of a back and forth with it because like it's very. I don't know how to say this because I don't want to say it in a bad way, but it's very liberally open-minded. There's lots of there's just all kinds of I don't know, people consider it pushing an agenda, you know, because it's them trying to be very open. I don't know how else to say it. Like it's very liberally open in terms of, you know, homosexual relationships, different races, different ethnicities, all shit like that. You know, it's very
Different species.
different species, exactly. And that's one thing I always okay, I'm not gonna go off.
Yeah,
Yeah. It pisses me off that people get upset about that because I'm like, dude, there's alien species in this fucking like, how are you gonna sit here and get mad anyway? I love it. I think they've been good. I think the stories have been solid. I think they're not overly complicated, but they're still entertaining enough that they keep your attention. So I think they've been good. I think book 2, I'm about halfway through it, and I think it's been, I would say, just as good as the first book. So if you read the first book, check it out. First book was Light of the Jedi. All right, so I'm gonna switch it over to movies now. I think since Matt wants to, we're gonna talk some of these, but I want to start with one, and I'm just gonna come out with it. All right, I watched Space Jam: New Legacy last night. Did you watch
it good?
Did you
no,
watch
huh? Not yet.
Okay,
is it on HBO available or
it is.
Okay?
It's on HBO Max.
Then I'll have to watch it.
It's in theaters and on HBO Max for anybody who wants to know. In theaters and on HBO Max. Now, I can't stand LeBron. Can't stand him. Personal opinion. Don't care what anybody else thinks. Can't stand the guy. So what I will say is, after watching the movie, still can't stand LeBron. I think he's a horrible actor. But the movie itself was surprisingly not bad. There are people. I'm going to spoil. I mean, I'm sure you don't care too much because it's freaking Space Jam. It's not like it's anything crazy important, but they use the opportunity to just showcase WB properties like crazy. At one point, they're trying to assemble their new Toon Squad, their new team, and they are going from world to world. And again, I'm going to spoil some of this, Matt, but they show the Game of Thrones world. They show LeBron riding a fucking dragon in the Game of Thrones world. They show the Harry Potter world. They show LeBron on a freaking broomstick playing Quidditch in the Harry Potter world. They show Casablanca. They show,
I'm surprised they didn't pull DC into it.
King Kong is in there. They do. They go to the animated Superman world, animated DC to try to recruit Superman. And it's Daffy Duck, I believe, is Superman, and Bugs is Batman, and LeBron is Robin.
Thank God.
it was the kind of thing where they would travel to the worlds, and LeBron would be like, "Oh, this is awesome! I'm in Hufflepuff, yeah, and then they go to the Superman to the DC to Metropolis, and he's like, "Man, I wonder who I'm gonna be in this superhero world." And then they go in, and he's all, "I'm Robin." It's like, for one thing, fuck you, Robin's awesome. Two, fuck you, you're a little bitch. Anyway, but dude, and this is going to be the biggest spoiler if you don't mind.
Yeah.
In the midst of all this, they're trying to recruit. They're trying to find the Tasmanian devil, and he plasters against their window on in their ship when they're flying around, and out comes Rick and Morty, and they just are like, "Oh, here's your little bear thing back," and then fly off or whatever. I was just kind of like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, what the hell? Like,
there's not in this,
right? King Kong's in it. Dude, it's basically a Ready Player One, but no
for Warner Brothers.
For Warner Brothers, yeah.
I can't believe they would put Rick and Morty in there, considering how adult
I
that should.
know. Well, and Game
Like,
of Thrones too. Like, I
yeah,
couldn't help but be like, dude. I mean, it's got to be. So that's the thing. A lot of people were mad because it's like it was literally just a slew of look at all the shit we own, look at all of our properties, look at all of our, all of our stuff, and people were mad about that. And I couldn't help but be like, dude. To be honest with you, that was the part I liked. I hate
yeah,
LeBron. I hate watching him act. That was the part that kept me entertained.
yeah.
Um, the game part of it was okay, and it ended predictably the way you would think it would end. It was okay. It wasn't great by any means, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I watched it because Adrian, my son. My son is was super excited about it, and so I watched it with him, and I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
Let me say that. All right, then, man, what time we got going here? We've still got a little bit.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
plowing through these. Okay, the next one is if you, oh man, came out on 4th of July perfectly. There's a new animated movie on Netflix that came out on 4th of July called America, the Motion Picture.
So whenever I look at that, or whenever I think about it, all I can think of is America, America. Fuck yeah!
Yeah, I was gonna say
coming again to say the motherfucking day. Yeah.
My wife was like, man, why do I just want to sit here and go America? Fuck yeah. Oh man, I don't have the cast list in front of me, but oh my gosh. So it is animated. It's an animated history of America. Okay. And it's
true. This is how it happened. I think that's in the opening thing. Is
the best way that I can describe this is that it is a bro dude history of America.
Yeah.
Like, and it's okay. Here I've got the cast list in front of me. So we got Channing Tatum as George Washington. Jason Mantzoukas, is that how you say it? As Sam Adams, and oh my gosh, so this is Jason. Oh man, I can't get a good shot of his face.
Yeah.
Who he is.
Well, and what's his name is Abraham Lincoln, the dude from Last Man on Earth.
Will Forte.
Yeah, there you go. I love Will Forte.
Olivia Munn as Thomas Edison, which that threw me off. I was like, why is she Thomas Edison? But when you watch the movie, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Bobby Moynihan, Paul Revere. Fucking Judy Greer as Martha Washington. Will Forte as Abraham Lincoln. Man, there's just the Simon Pegg as King James.
Yeah.
And then freaking Andy Samberg as Benedict Arnold. Oh my gosh. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
it's a really, really fucking great. It's really funny. It's very good.
It's
very
really,
original.
Really, really R-rated though.
Yes.
Certainly not a kids movie. Do not watch it with your kids. I read a review that I think was the most honest review that I could think. If you watch the first 20 minutes of the movie and you absolutely hate it, you're not going to like the rest of the movie because that kind of comedy is in it through the whole movie. If you watch the first 20 minutes and you freaking laugh your ass off, then you're going to laugh your ass off through the whole movie.
It's definitely in the Rick and Morty. It's in the South Park kind of
Family Guy, even.
Comedy.
I want to say the animators were the guys who did Venture Brothers and those things. So
if you're not into those, you won't like this. But if you are, man, it's really fun.
It's in my opinion, it was one of the most hilarious things I've seen in a long time. I literally was laughing out loud so much through this movie. Like I couldn't stop, man. It was so great. And I watched it on 4th of July, right before we did all the fireworks and shit. Like we did it, literally watched the movie and then went out and did fireworks. And I just couldn't help but be like, America. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Dude, well, and I mean, it's been a rough year with COVID. It's been hard. It's been hard finding like really good comedies here lately.
And I think I just get so tired of people being like, oh, it's riddled with inaccuracies. It's like, it's a fucking cartoon. Like,
right.
I get so tired of people who can't just sit back and laugh. Like, just laugh at it, dude. Like, it was funny. It was hilarious.
It was. And I didn't know anything about it until it came out. Like, I was like, what is this?
That was the thing too. I had not seen any marketing for it. I had no clue what it was. And yeah, I was just like, what the hell is this? And it popped up and I watched it and I was so happy I did, man.
Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite character in it?
Oh, Sam Adams. Sam
Yeah,
Adams. Yeah.
bro.
I love the part. I love the part where he's like, so he's like, dude, I eat whatever I want. I don't work out at all. I'm literally getting buff from sex, from having sex. And I was just like, oh my God.
I really like Benedict Arnold. Like I thought it was funny. I thought he was very funny.
Sandberg did fantastic, and you couldn't really tell it was him. Like,
no, yeah,
even King James, Simon.
And then
Pegg,
Simon Pegg. Yeah, it was hard telling that it was Simon Pegg.
Right, he's got
and that and
voice. It was it was good, man.
Yeah, it was definitely. It sounds like it's almost like imagine what was it? Drunk History. Imagine if they made an animated of somebody of an episode of Drunk History. Like, hey, I think Abraham Lincoln. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, but seriously crazy. Like it's really up there on crazy.
I love when because when Lincoln gets assassinated, he's all no, call it America, and his blood comes out and spells out America, and he's like, you sure that's the name? Is that what you want to land on?
You sure the one you want to pick? Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's so funny. So I'll kind of relay this to you, Matt, because I mean, I know the other two movies I wanted to talk about. Well,
we can go ahead and talk about them.
Technically, it's 4 movies because one of them's one movie. Well, you haven't watched one of them actually,
right?
And the other one is 3.
No, I've watched all of them. Well, yeah. You.
The other one I want to talk about, which is
one TV show, 3 movies.
No, I was talking about Black Widow.
Go ahead.
So,
yeah.
Shit, fucking Loki too. It's too much.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's what I'm. Yeah, I'm gonna talk Loki. I'm gonna talk Loki and Fear Street. So if you want to do Black Widow,
I'll wrap it up with Black Widow, and then we'll switch up to you, man. I feel like I told you I had so much this week, so much stuff to talk about this week, man.
Yeah,
this was an eventful 2 weeks, man. I feel like all kinds of stuff in these past 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll talk Black Widow. I don't like Matt. Do you have any intentions of watching it? Do you mind if I talk some spoilies? Do you mind if I
go ahead? I'm not going to watch it until it's free on Disney, and that's only because I have a thing about paying for something that I'm already paying for, so I'm refusing to do it.
And we went to the theater just because, like, I mean,
you want to go back to the theater. I get you.
I went and saw A Quiet Place.
And it's a different feeling. I agree.
Well, and you and I went and saw it, and I'll be completely honest with everybody out there. When we went and saw it, there was like 4 other people in the theater, and I mean, it was open, but not open. This one, we went and saw Black Widow. It was a fully packed theater, and to be honest with you, it was crazy being back in that environment, man. It really was.
It was awesome, wasn't it?
It really was, and
I miss that.
It was kind of crazy because like there were still people around us who were like rocking the masks, and there were still people around us who were kind of like
don't touch me.
Yeah, right. And I mean, and I get that.
That's all right.
If I wasn't vaccinated, I totally would be that way. But like, anyway. Now Black Widow, it takes place between Civil War and Civil War and Infinity War, I believe. Takes place after Civil War, before Infinity War. It takes place in 2016. It's okay. Overall, I loved it. Thought it was good. Very enjoyable movie. It was actually, I don't want to say better than I thought. It was
A, B, C, D, or F.
I'd give it a B. It wasn't. I think there's still this thing, and this is just a personal opinion. I feel like there's still this thing where I personally am getting kind of tired of the same old Marvel formula with their movies, you know, and that's not to say it's bad. It's just a personal opinion that I'm getting a little bit tired of it. And I feel like this one followed that formula to a fucking T, you know. The intro was good. The opening scene was good. It's her and her sister when they're little. It's got David Harbour in it. It's got can't remember the woman. She's in The Mummy. Can't remember her name.
Yeah.
She's in it, and the opening was good, solid. The rest of the movie was good. It was kind of I don't want to call it wasn't an origin story, because it shows her origin in the first 15 minutes of the movie, but that's kind of it. Like then it takes place between Civil War and Infinity War. So it's really not an origin movie.
Which I was really hoping they were going to make a one about what's the freaking. They always joke about it. Her and Hawkeye about the
Budapest.
Budapest. There you go. I was
Yeah,
hoping
they
they were
mentioned
going to do.
Budapest, and they take you to the Budapest safe house, but that's
Yeah.
it. Like you don't. Yeah, I really was hoping they would have done a Budapest movie. Like that would have been really good, and it would have been more grounded. Like I think Marvel has this horrible need to even their small
Blow everything up.
blow everything way out of proportion. Like, and again, that's not bad. It's meant to be an action movie. I get that, but man, even Civil War or not,
We're 21 movies into this.
even
Isn't it 21?
like
Isn't it
22? I thought it was 22, and then this would be 23. I don't know.
Okay. But anyways.
20 something, and even Winter Soldier, Captain America: Winter Soldier, which is arguably number 1 or number 2 in the MCU. They still had to do that whole thing of them taking down like this whole huge helicarrier, and oh man, they're gonna take over the world, and oh man, they're gonna like they still had to go huge with it, you know. And I mean, it's fine, but when you keep doing it and you keep doing it and you keep doing it, it gets a little worn out, in my opinion.
Well, and here's the issue that I have with that stuff is like now they're introducing the Eternals. Where were they? You know, when it seems like and well, and like and so like, hey, you know, not every bad guy. I'm not taking like that's honestly why I liked Ant-Man, because like the original Ant-Man, because he wasn't trying to destroy the world, you know. Right. Like I just feel like a lot of them are.
He kind of was. He was trying to get.
I know, but
little guys.
Right, but like. Yeah. But, God damn it, man.
Right, but that's what I'm kind of getting at. Is it's like it kind of feels like a rinse and repeat kind of thing, you know. And don't let it take away from the movie, because the movie was good. The story was pretty good. I mean, the idea is that they're I'll spoil it. They're trying to take down the guy who basically runs the Black Widows. Like, he trains them up, but then he like kind of injects them with this mind control type deal so that they're under his command. And this is all about, they finally find this thing that can wake them up from their situation and just be normal again. So what I will say is Florence Pugh, who is the girl from Midsummer and Fighting with My Family. Did you ever watch that one?
No,
that's actually not a bad movie, man. Professional wrestling movie, surprisingly good. The Rock's in it. It's
I remember seeing things about that.
She's the main star in that. Florence Pugh. She's in Midsummer, the horror movie. I mean, if you call it a horror movie, I call it drug-induced 2 hours. But she stole the fucking show, dude. I think that's one of my other complaints, is that you finally get a Black Widow solo movie, and Black Widow kind of feels like the background character. Like it can't help but feel like, okay, well, it's really about Red Guardian, and it's really about, I can't remember the woman's name, she's driving me nuts, and it's really about Florence Pugh's character, the fucking her sister or whatever. Florence Pugh, man, she fucking stole the show. I was really excited about David Harbour. I was really excited about everybody else, but dude, she came out swinging and she fucking rocked it, dude. She kicked ass. She was funny. She was badass, and I'm not gonna lie, she was fucking gorgeous. And so she was my favorite part of the movie, hands down. But again, ending, of course, again, goes way over the top, in my opinion. And then the post credits thing, again, do you mind me spoiling it?
No, go ahead.
Did you watch Falcon and Winter Soldier?
No.
Okay.
I haven't watched that
who it is. I don't even know who. I'm still not 100% sure who she is. I know a lot of comic book fans know who she is. I've never been huge on the Marvel comics, so I'm not 100% sure who she is. It's Elaine from Seinfeld. It's her character. So her character showed up in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but apparently she was originally supposed to show up. I don't. She was originally supposed to show up in this first. So her post-credit scene in this was, it is cool though. She goes to talk to the sister. Now we flash forward to where Natasha's dead. You know, so her sister goes to visit her gravesite, and she shows up, the woman shows up and tells her, hey, guess what? I know who fucking killed her. And then shows her a picture of Hawkeye. So she's going to go, you can tell she's probably going to be part of the Hawkeye series that's coming out.
Nice.
In which case, I'm all for it, dude. I'm all for it. I think that'd be badass. Shit. So let me see here. Falcon. I was trying to look up and see who her character was, but you know what? I'll leave it at that. I would give it a B. It was all solid. It was all good work. It just it never wowed me just because I felt like it was all so expected. Oh, Taskmaster.
Yeah.
Taskmaster. Worst part of the movie.
Yeah.
Worst part of the movie, hands down. And I mean, and it has nothing to do with the idea of the character was done right. The fact that they can copy your fighting style to where you can almost never beat them, you know. But it was who the character ended up being was entirely different than
it was another
comics.
Entirely. It was another Mandalorian Iron Man 3 situation.
What do you mean by that?
The Mandalorian. How it wasn't what's his name the whole time. He was a fake.
Oh,
is that what you're talking about?
Well, it's sort of, sort of. Like that pissed me off so much more, dude. That pissed me off so much more. Mandarin was fucking Mandarin was Iron Man.
I said Mandalorian. Mandarin.
I was like, wait a minute. What do you mean Iron Man 3 Mandalorian?
Yeah.
But no, Mandarin was, in my opinion, the best freaking the best bad guy in Iron Man in the comics. And he what they did to him in Iron Man.
They screwed him.
Unforgivable, in my opinion. And unforgivable. I was actually I don't even really like Ben Kingsley, but I was super excited to see him in that role. When they first showed him with his rings and with the picture, I was just like, fuck yeah, that looks perfect. And really, really let me down with that one. So not quite on that level, but I was just more so like who they ended up being kind of was a cop out in my opinion. But you know, some people might have liked it. Some people might have liked it. Her name, so Julia Louis-Dreyfus is the one who plays the woman. Her name is Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. And I have
I'm a Marvel guy, but
no clue who she is in the comics. But I think she's seems like kind of a Suicide Squad.
Vanessa, kind of like her character. Well, and I used to read Marvel a lot, but like I don't remember. Man.
I have no clue who she is.
I like both Marvel and DC, but yeah.
Okay, but yeah, that was it. Like I said, I'd say a solid B. I'd say it's worth a watch, dude. I went to the theater. If anything, it's worth a watch just to get back in the theater and have a good experience. You know,
right?
Yeah, it's worth a watch. I was happy I paid for it, and I didn't pay crazy money for it, but I was happy I paid for it. Now I would not pay $30 to watch it at home, though. I would not do that.
Nope. I refuse to. So,
all right. So yeah, I mean, I'd say that's about it. And I know I've taken up a lot of time, but like I said, I had a shit ton of stuff to talk about this week. So, Matt, what is up, bro?
Before we get into Loki and Fear Street, I got a couple of things. Anybody who listens or watches knows how much of a fan of The Walking Dead and the creator. Gosh,
Kirkman.
Jesus, Kirkman. That me and Josh are. I haven't talked about this on the show, but I've been following it throughout the years, and I talked off screen with Josh about this. But something happened yesterday, on Friday. So anybody who is familiar is a big fan of the show or follows it like kind of religiously knows about Frank Darabont. He was the main writer, the executive producer. He directed like 4 out of the first 6 episodes on the first season. He directed the first episode. He created Merle. He created Merle and Daryl. He created the TV Walking Dead. It was his baby, his creation. Obviously, Kirkman created, but he brought it to us in the form of TV. Now, after season 1, he was already getting everything ready for season 2 when AMC came out and said, hey, we're going to order more episodes and pay less money. And Frank did not want to do that, did not agree with it. And did he handle it wrong? Yes. But he went
Told
on a
something like that,
tirade, and
wouldn't you kind of be pissed too? Like, I'd be kind of fucking pissed. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
what he said or did, but I mean, I'd be fucking pissed too.
I mean, he was an asshole, but
Right, right.
like they
Justifiably an asshole.
well, and they fired him, and they
Right.
used in this. So he filed, anyways. He filed a lawsuit. They fired him. They used the emails that he sent and all the vulgar language that he used against him. But they didn't fire him because of that. They fired him because he was pushing to get more funding for his actors, more funding for his writers, and more funding for the show. And it really, really pissed me off, man, to where it's like, I mean, Josh were talking, it's kind of like with WB and their DC properties. They just can't get out of the fucking way. And Frank knew the monster that he was creating. He knew how big this was going to get. And AMC struggled to see that. And in my opinion, that's why the second season is my least favorite season. I think there's a lot of poor decision making, and you could tell the lack of funding was there, even compared to the first season.
That's true, though. Yeah, I never thought
right
of it that way because I thought about it. I watched season 1 and I was like, all right, this is pretty good. And I was watching season 2, and I think I texted you or talked to you, and I was like, dude, I don't know if I want to keep going with this. And you're like, trust me, man, season 3 will start picking back up. It'll get good again. It'll start getting there. Yeah.
Season 2 was rough, and I mean, you could tell that it was just not the same.
And because
it's because
boring. It was boring. Like, it was boring to watch.
It really was
good production.
It really was.
So anyway,
nope. And so, but Frank Darabont had filed this lawsuit for $280 million. And this was, God, just 10 years, 9 years ago, whatever. And it finally came out, man. He won it. And that is unbelievably awesome. I am so glad that he won this, man. If you're a fan of the Walking Dead TV show, if you're a fan of Fear the Walking Dead, the comics, man, go read about him and read about this lawsuit, because like, it just really should paint you a different picture of how AMC treated the Walking Dead and how they almost screwed the pooch. Like, they really almost screwed it completely beyond return. In my opinion, season 2, you could just tell how little they put into it, and it almost destroyed it. Right. So you wouldn't have The Walking Dead, you wouldn't have Fear the Walking Dead, you wouldn't have all the merchandise, you wouldn't have, and to be honest, you wouldn't have the Invincible show. Like, you wouldn't have any of that stuff without Frank, and I'm going to butcher his name, Darabont. And like, just go and read about him, read what actually happened, read about the emails that he sent. Were they horrible? Yeah, some of them were bad, but I'd be pissed off too. That's what I'm saying. You know, and
yeah.
Right. So, like, were some of them threatening? Yes, they were. Were some of them really bad? Yes, some of them were really bad. Like, but you could tell, like, Hollywood deals with Right. Like, Hollywood deals with people if they make them money. Like, that's the way Hollywood is. Like, look at Tom Cruise. He's done plenty of crazy shit. Look at Mel Gibson. He's an anti-Semitic shit, you know? So, like, did what he do, was it worth losing him? No. And obviously, you could tell the difference between season 1, season 3, and then season 2.
Yeah.
Right. And so, like, he was right. And there were actually the actors, all of them came out and said, no, Frank was a good dude. We always liked Frank. You know, he did a great job. They didn't even tell the actors why he got fired. That tells me that the emails were not part of it. Like, when he got removed, they just said, yeah, we're not working with him anymore. They didn't tell Andrew Lincoln, you know, any of them. The reason why is because of how threatening he was, you know, in these emails. So that was total bullshit. So definitely, I think that if you are a fan of The Walking Dead, the show, whatever, the books, go and read about Frank Darabont, Darabont. And it should tell you kind of the mindset of AMC. So the second thing that I'm going to talk about, and me and Josh are going to start this off. I know I'm going to start mine on next Wednesday. We're going to pick, you know, we're going to try to do once a week for each one of us to drop this. But we used to, in the day, do this tournament style, this bracket style tournament of who would win. And so I was talking to him, and I really wanted to do this, and eventually we're gonna bring other things in, like we're gonna do the villains next time. We're gonna do non DC, non Marvel characters, but to start it off, we're gonna do the big boys, the DC versus Marvel. Who would win? And so we've got
heroes. DC heroes versus Marvel heroes.
Sorry, DC heroes versus Marvel heroes. So it's gonna blur. I already know it, but we've got the brackets laid out, and yeah. So next week, I'm gonna do mine on Wednesday. Josh is gonna drop his when he drops his, but we're gonna go through and we're gonna pick, like, each one of us take a match every week, and we're gonna go over it and we're gonna pick who our winners are, and then at the end of it, we're gonna have a nice big fight between us on who's gonna win the whole thing.
Who will take the throne?
Who will take the throne? So, and anybody who's a comic book.
See, and then we can do the villains one if this one works.
And then make a bracket.
No, and then take the winner from the villains and the winner from the heroes.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yep. And what I would do is say, let's do this like 4 or 5 times with like the villains, and then do the other comic book characters or whatever. And then we take the 3 or 4 or 5, however many times we do that, and then put them in their own bracket and see who wins that for top comic book character.
Yeah.
But anybody, and I'm sure that we're not the only ones that have ever done this. Like anybody who's a comic book nerd or whatever, they hang out with their friends and they always think, who would win, Superman versus whoever, Phoenix.
We've got a couple friends who we might bring in a special guest to kind of talk about this a few times.
Who would win, Iron Man versus Batman, So we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna drop. We're gonna drop one episode a week, each of us, on who we're picking to win on a certain match. So if it doesn't go quick enough, we might do a couple. We'll see, because I want to get into the villains, because the villains are where it's at.
Oh yeah, that's definitely going to be a part of our going forward. We're going to be doing this for a while. This one's going to take a little while, especially if we're only doing one match a week. It's going to take.
Yeah, we might. We might do a couple matches. That's.
But
we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
And then if it goes well, we'll do the villains one, which we'll probably just do the villains one anyway. Y'all can deal with it, but
Yeah. Well, think about like we've got Top Cow, we've got Image, all the superheroes outside of DC and Marvel. We're gonna do those guys too. So, could you imagine Invincible or his dad? Gosh dang it,
Omni-Man
versus Superman. Okay, so the last 2 things we're going to talk about, Josh had kind of hinted to, but anybody who is a fan of comic books, I hope you're caught up on Loki, because we're going to talk some spoilers. Yeah. So if you haven't seen Loki, I'll tell you, and Josh has already said this. I was really turned off from WandaVision. That's my own personal thing, because I love House of M, one of my favorite stories of all time.
And I can
comics general,
understand,
but
if you liked House of M, you can understand. If you go back and read House of M, can really understand.
Well, I'm going to talk. Well, don't give too much away, because I'm going to talk about that at one point.
Okay.
Like, only because I'm doing my
if
previous.
You read House of M, you can understand why Matt wasn't a big fan of the WandaVision show.
Yeah, and so that turned me off from Winter Soldier and Falcon, but I was hell bent, man. I love Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston,
yeah, I loved him as Loki in every role that he has played in the MCU.
Oh yeah,
and so I was really looking forward to Loki, and they did not disappoint. In my opinion, is probably up there with Mandalorian as far as best original series from Disney. It's great from beginning to end. I was not bored. My attention was not pulled somewhere else. Everything's great. I mean, it's not
just
And I will give it this, man. Like, I don't feel like it had the formula of the movies. I think that that's what I like. I'm hoping that they repeat this kind of stuff where they release shows of this quality along with the movie. So, and it has been confirmed they're going to do season 2, right?
Spoilies. Yes, confirm season 2. If you watch the post credits or whatever, it says Loki will be back in season 2, and you're like, oh shit, cool.
Yep.
So that's
major
spoilies. So that's that they don't die at the end. If that's spoilies.
Well, and I mean, I'm going to go ahead and give away the last episode, the biggest spoilie.
So talk major spoilies. So
yeah, so I really liked the last episode. I'm not the biggest on knowledge on Kang, but I'm glad they introduced the timelines, the branches off.
They officially did it, dude. It's the multiverse.
Yes,
it's Spider-Verse. It's oh my god! It opens
everything
possibilities. It allows them the opportunity to recast people if they need to cast younger versions of people again. They can bring in the mutants. They can do everything with this now. They can do everything now.
Yep. I mean, Iron Man can be alive in another universe, and it could be a Iron Man,
or it could be cast as a younger version of
and it opens up Black Panther also now with what's his name passing away, And I'm telling you, I know this is not Loki, but I am so excited for Sam Raimi's take on Strange.
One of the things I read was like they were like, it's classic Raimi, it's good horror, it's like, and I was like, fuck yeah, that's what I want to hear. Like,
well, and I go back to Spider-Man 2, man. Like you could see Raimi all over that, especially the scene where he's in the hospital.
That's 100% classic Raimi.
Yeah. But so
Spider-Man 3 happened, and we go back to the whole studios getting way too involved shit.
Sony.
Anyway.
So, but I really like the series. I'm horrible with names, but what's the female Loki? Sylvie. Yeah. Dude, like I love her as a character. The actress did a great job. The ending of it was perfect with her and Loki. I thought that was a real big turning moment. Which way was it going to go? Which one was going to do what kind of thing? So if you haven't seen it, watch it. I will say, if you
haven't seen it, you might as well not be watching us because we're going to spoil the fuck out of it.
Yeah. I mean, here comes Kang, he who, what is it? He who
remains.
Yeah. He who remains.
Honestly, I loved the guy. So the guy from Lovecraft Country. I loved the way the guy did it. I thought he was great because I think he's gonna. Yes, this one was all, oh hey, what's up, guys? How's it going, guys? But he's also gonna show you. He told you his other variants are not as nice as he is.
Think about where Loki ended up. He goes and there's Kang the Conqueror, man, and that also. Here's the thing. This opens up the only story arc that I know of Kang. Like I said, I'm not very knowledgeable on him, but the one story arc that I am knowledgeable on with him is when he goes back as Imhotep and tries to kill / take the power from Apocalypse. That I would love to see. I mean, for them to actually
bring in the X-Men now.
Yes,
they can bring in the Fantastic Four now. They can bring in. I cannot wait. I mean, I know the guy who played Doc Ock spoiled shit because I guess he was asking in an interview what are they doing with your role in the movie, and he was just kind of like, they're continuing the story from Spider-Man 2 for my character, and everybody was like, wait, what? So he kind of spoiled it, dude. There's no way around it. They're doing Spider-Verse. There's no way.
Nope. I'm excited. I would really like to see that story arc of seeing because they screwed up Apocalypse so bad. I didn't hate him.
The movie was not great. But
I
didn't hate his portrayal of the character. Let me say it that way. The movie wasn't great, but I didn't hate it's fucking what's his name? Poe Dameron. It's
right. I don't have a problem with him. I have a problem with this is a Thanos. This is a dark side level mutant, and he was treated like another mutant.
But I mean, technically, he was taken out by the Phoenix. So I mean.
Right, but I felt like this is the problem with Fox. They
plowed it all into one movie. I think was the biggest
right.
They plowed it all into one movie. Yeah.
Yes. So that was the problem I had, but it opens up all that. So I really feel like Loki was very good. It's up there with Mandalorian as far as original content for Disney for me.
I legit wouldn't be surprised if after King the Conqueror they bring out Galactus. I think that's gonna start coming in, dude.
And I mean,
I don't know. I don't know.
Man,
Just so there's so many
right. I am too. Right,
so many things
right, and I am too. Here's the problem that I've always had with Galactus is like, well, how are you going to do it, man? Like,
oh, right.
It's going to be a hard thing to.
It wasn't great,
right?
And they did it as just
no, and so it
wasn't great,
right? And so it's like, man, like I get that comic book movies are make believe and everything. I get that, but like the cool thing about like
comic book accuracy to them, at least a little bit.
Well, and also like. How people going to fight him? You know, like that's always been the problem with him. Is like really theoretically, who's going to take him out? You know, so
that'd be it. You know,
right?
But in the comics, Thor killed him. Technically, in the comics,
I know. Well, and Squirrel Girl fucking beat him too. You know. Squirrel Girl has beaten Thanos. Listen, no, I refuse to. I refuse to.
I read the story on her fighting Thanos. I read the story, so it's her.
Dude,
she's with a group of oh man.
I refuse to even read the story.
She's with a group of Avengers. So they're like the Revengers or the Canadian Avengers or something to that effect. Okay, and she's just with them. They're on like this little ski trip thing, and she's told to go get TP and something else from the store. So she goes to the store, and on her way to the store is who is it? On her way
perfect example on why
on the way to the store is some bad guy, and the cops are fighting this bad guy. She's just like, oh, okay, and then she jumps in. Oh, MODOK. It's MODOK. And so she's fighting him. The squirrel goes in, deactivates MODOK. He goes down, whatever. Squirrel goes in, fucks with his wiring, and he goes down. So she comes back, and then they're like, hey, you forgot the TP. And she's like, oh, shoot, got to go back out and get TP. And when she goes back out, Thanos is out there. And that's it. They leave it at that. And then later on just are kind of like, oh, yeah, she beat Thanos. Like, you're just kind of like,
yeah.
Wait.
So she beat Thanos, she beat Doctor Doom, and she's beaten Galactus. And this goes back to the problem that I have with Marvel. Like, why? How? Okay, like of all the characters in the universe,
she's meant to be a joke character. Like
I know, but
so I was saying they treat her. I told you this off camera. They treat her kind of like Deadpool in the sense that you're not supposed to take her seriously. Yes, she's.
I know, but like,
photos, but it was like some bullshit story.
I know, but those three fucking characters, like, come on, man! Like, they wouldn't even do that with Deadpool. Like, I mean, they wouldn't do that. And so, but anyways,
like I said, they did Deadpool kills Marvel Universe story.
I know, but like, it was actually decent. But anyways, I just hate her as a character. I just hate
story, right?
No, I hate her as a character. I refuse to read anything with her. I can't stand her. And that says a lot.
they but make her OP for no reason. I think that's the point. It's just to make her OP for no reason.
And when the funny thing is that when we were talking about these brackets, like I brought up the fact that Marvel has way too many Omega level mutants or fucking world destroyers. No. So I was texting, me and Josh were talking, and I at one point I said it's okay because Squirrel Girl is going to win the whole fucking thing, you know, because that's the thing is like it's anyways. The last thing we're going to talk about because I want to get the off that Squirrel Girl crap if you haven't
reiterate one more time that Loki is phenomenal. It was fantastic from start to finish. And it was the perfect amount of each episode built up the perfect amount because there was only 6 episodes. And by like the 4th episode, you're already like, what the fuck is happening? Like you thought one thing. And then, you know, by the 4th episode, you're already like, I'm again, I'll just spoil it. They destroy the timekeepers or the time gods or whatever the fuck they're called. And they were just these robots, and you're already like 4 episodes in. You're like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Yep.
And then episode 5, where he gets tossed into the abyss with all the other Lokis. Fantastic, fantastic writing, fantastic acting, amazing special effects. Everything looked beautiful.
You got to see my favorite Loki, which is vote for Loki.
Vote for Loki.
Yeah.
And Ali.
Yeah, excellent.
Just phenomenal.
Excellent.
phenomenal.
And honestly, man, it rivals some of the movies, some of the MCU stuff,
does.
man. Like it's
It
really
does.
good.
Yep.
So the last thing I'm going to talk about is Fear Street.
Yeah.
So if you haven't heard or you haven't checked out, man, these three movies on Netflix are based on the R.L. Stine book, which I didn't even know that precursor. I've never read them. I didn't know that he had done them. I didn't know that he did. Yeah, I grew up. Me and Josh, me and you grew up on Goosebumps. You know, I had no idea that he made adult themed books. Yep. But never read the books. And I'll tell you, these three movies are excellent. It's been a while, and I was actually talking to my wife about this. I don't know if I told you this, Josh, but like for a while there, man, I was like, do I really need Netflix? Like they lost The Office, they lost, and like I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, okay, yeah. Nope. I was like, man, I really want to hold on for Stranger Things. I really need to see the ending for Stranger Things. But I was looking at it, I was like, I don't ever get on there. Right. And then they come out with America on July 4th. But then they come out with Fear Street, and it's a 3-part movie. You got to watch it 1994, 1974, and then 1666. 1978, sorry. But man, from start to end, man, it gave me Scream vibes. Like the first time watching Scream, like the first Scream, I think people underestimate like the age group that I'm in. Scream was awesome. Like the first time that you watch Scream, the first time you watch like Blair Witch Project, like, you know, it's hard to find those kind of movies nowadays where you're just like enthralled with it. Like what's going to happen? Who's doing what? And I really feel like, you know, the first movie was excellent, man. It had me trying to figure out what was going on.
Soundtrack was amazing right out the gate.
Soundtrack. Yeah. The soundtrack was great too, man. I think that, yeah. But it does have 3 parts to it. My favorite, I know it might be different, but my favorite was actually 78.
Dude, same.
I really liked.
My favorite too.
Awesome. Yep. You know, it was really good. It
felt like Friday the 13th. Or like,
yes. The first one to me feels like Scream. The second one felt like Friday the 13th. Yep. And the third one, it's kind of hard to put into a category.
Because it's a little different. I mean, I don't know if you want to talk spoilies on it or not, but like
I don't mind talking spoilies because I could talk about it all day. I love.
I will say the thing that fucking shocked me was like I knew they would have to wrap up the 94 story, but I wasn't expecting halfway through he just kind of goes boom 94 part 2, and I was like, oh shit, okay, shit. I don't know about you, but I legitimately did not think that she wasn't the witch. Like I did not think. Had zero. Sorry, guys. Major spoilers.
Yes. Major spoilers. But like,
she wasn't. Yeah, I guess.
She's not. Yeah. No,
right.
She cursed him. So he opened up. He opened up the curse on the town, but she cursed him that I will always be with you. I will follow you forever. And oh man, that third movie was like it was so good, like so well written.
And it's one of those things where, like, honestly, what I can say is these felt like exactly what you would think an adult R.L. Stine would feel like. Almost a, I don't want to say childish story, but like it's a witch, you know? It's like, but done in a way that
original. That's original. And you know,
I'm sorry, dude. In the first movie, when he pushes her through that fucking meat grinder thing, oh my god,
yeah, I didn't think that he had that in him. You know,
what was cool about the first one was it made you feel like you kind of started to like the characters, and then they didn't really kill them off until the end, and then you were like, fuck, shit.
Yeah, everybody's dying. Well, what about so and I was tripping out in 1666. I was like, okay, like I know that they're these like visions and everything, but like I wonder if she dies. Does she die in 1666? So like when dude the fucking right, but like dude the scene with the priest, man, like when you walk in and all those kids, what is it, 12 kids?
It's 12.
Oh my God, man. And then my favorite, like I said, my favorite one,
dude. It was brutal.
My favorite one was 78. I wish I wish, I hope and pray that they do like another series for the in between ones. So you get the girl with the slasher,
the kid fucking
yeah,
freaks
and the
me
kid with the
out.
bat.
Oh,
Yes,
my kid
yes.
freaks scared.
Like,
And that's the thing. Okay, so I'm sorry, real quick. In the first one in '94, I kept when all of them were coming, I kept telling my wife, I was like, dude, honestly, the dude with the fucking knapsack on his head is the one that freaks me out the most. And then '78 rolled around, and I was like, it's the dude with the knapsack. Fuck.
yep.
But then
And
kid, dude, that kid freaks me out too.
I would, right. I would love, they don't even have to, like, they can just, they don't have to have the 1994 characters in these, obviously.
Right.
But like, do 2 more movies. One about the fucking girl with the slash, that sings, the one that sings, the one that sings. And then do one about the boy with what is that? Is he's wearing?
It's just a
Like,
mask of some kind or something.
God, it's so creepy, man.
It's so creepy, and he's got that baseball bat. It's just there's a part at the end of the third one where he's just standing there on the side of a candy machine or something. It's just dink. I was like, oh my god, this kid is freaking me out.
Well, and one of the things that I really liked about the series too is that one of the complaints that you always get about, especially older horror movies, is how dumb the main characters are. Why the hell would you go through that door? Why would you do that? Like, I feel like, Stranger Things has kind of changed that, but I think that Fear Street kind of kicked it in next gear, coming up with the whole blood idea of how to turn the I don't know what you want to call them, the demons, the monsters,
demons. I don't know because they're not possessed because they straight
right. They're not anymore. Yeah,
or whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
But like that idea is so ingenious about taking her blood and then putting it in different areas, catching them, and then doing the fucking carry. That's awesome. Like, that's so good of an idea. Like that you actually.
There was even questions I had during the first one that got answered in the third one. There was like I sat here and we both, me and my wife, were both like, so wait a minute though, how was her body right there, and what is her body buried in? What is all that crap that's around there? And then in the third one, you're kind of like, oh, that's what it is. That's why it's there. Like,
yeah.
Good. It was just so solid, dude. You took 3 movies. Yeah. It felt like just one big good story. Like, it was.
Yeah.
It was great.
Well, and it's I might be wrong. I've never seen a trilogy horror movie done like this,
right? Like
where it's linking. Yeah, not like Halloween 1, Halloween 2, Halloween 3. Like those are traditional ones. I'm talking like these are intertwining, and they're and man, like they're just so good. Like I never looked away, man. I'm gonna definitely rewatch them.
And it was surprising because when I started on the first one, I was like, okay, soundtrack's pretty good. Okay, this is okay. And then I was like, man, it's these no-name teens. This is going to be cheesy acting. It's going to be subpar. And by the end of the first one, I was like, where's part 2? Where the fuck's part
2? Right. Oh, man. Like, and after watching part 2, I was like, I need part 3 now because like it kept getting better. Like, that's the thing is like I'm not taking anything away from 1994. That was a good movie. The second one was better. The third one was great. Like, it was just like boom, boom, boom. It's like good, better, best. But even though I still love 78,
I think 78 is my favorite too.
Yeah.
It really had that Friday the 13th feel to it. That dude, the dude with the fucking knapsack. Oh, I loved it.
Well, and I mean, overall, like I talk about this. What was it? The movie we went and saw.
Quiet Place.
Quiet Place. So Quiet Place and Quiet Place 2 are 2 of my more recent, like meaning in the past 10 years, favorite horror movies because of the originality and everything.
I mean, even though they could almost qualify as like thriller, like they're horror, but they're not like I guess slasher. This is more of a slasher.
This is well, I mean, like this is like anybody who's a fan of Scream or Friday the 13th and witch movies or just 80s, 70s, I'd say 70s, 80s, 90s even, or man, it does so good.
It even plays into, I'm just going to go into it, the lesbian part of it. They even play into the fact that back in 1666, they would have thought that shit was fucking crazy and they would have fucking hung you for it, like they would have done stuff like that. So it's like I like that they even played into that, because it's like at first,
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to say it's forced, but it's like at first it almost felt kind of forced, but then by the end of it, you're like, fuck, never mind, dude. Like they are going through it and they went through it, you
Yeah.
know, like that's fucking awesome. Um,
Yeah.
and
And I will say, I know that I talked about it a little bit, but the last one, which is 1666, like it's a big twist. And I honestly, it's been a long time since I've said I didn't see that coming.
right.
100% did not see it coming.
And it's funny because you
I
even
did
kind of
not
played
see it.
it, you know, like the custodian guy. You said how even in the first movie, he's like, "Oh, Officer Good, we're like Officer really fucking evil" or something like that. And I was just like, I
Right.
just kind of was like, okay, he's just some asshole. But then it's like, oh fuck, you know,
Well,
like
and now you going back and thinking like it makes sense on why he wasn't freaking out about the hospital scene and all that stuff. Like it makes perfect sense
it
now. He
really,
doesn't give a shit. He want,
yeah,
you
he
know,
knew, he just didn't
yeah,
care. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
And I mean, oh, dude, yeah. So like, if you're
very
if
well
you
done.
want, yeah, if you want to see something, if you grew up with Goosebumps and you're an adult now, obviously watch this, man, because it's so good. And like Josh said, I agree completely. It reminds me of Goosebumps for adults.
Right.
And I had no idea that R.L. Stein did that kind of stuff,
No,
man. But
nope.
I am totally down for them doing
Oh yeah,
something else
they do
like
something
this,
else like
man.
this for sure. I'm down for sure. Like that
So
was
yeah.
just it's such a surprising thing, dude. It was so fucking good.
So last thing I'll say is, so I'm trying to do one video a week on Wednesdays. It'll be kind of going over the brackets that we've done, but also I'm going to be going through some more comics that I grew up on for recommendations. So make sure you check that out.
I'm gonna try to do weekly comic reviews. I'm gonna try to write them up on the blog, and I'm also gonna try to. I might just make a video also. That way, if you
Ooh,
want to
yeah.
read it, cool. If you want to just watch it, cool. I will admit though that this past week, the only thing I really got was Skybound X, so I didn't do a whole lot. It's the only reason I didn't really put up a review this week, because I really only got the one comic, so I didn't want to put up reviews just for one comic. But yeah.
Well, and also for anybody who's listening, make sure to contact us if there's something that, we say it a lot, but if there's something that yeah, or if you want our opinions on or anything like that.
Right.
So, and
if you want to submit some
on Facebook,
the theories for who's
for
going
the
to win some of these fights,
yeah. And so we're going to go over the brackets. We're going to start going those. And, we want to see what you guys think of, which ones we get wrong, which ones we get right. So
I don't.
We're going to try to balance it out.
Yeah, for sure. The only other thing I want to say is I'm not going to give away any personal information or anything like that, but I will say our Something's Killing the Children winner is James. I
Nice.
don't even know if I want to say his last name, because I don't want to give
don't
yeah.
So,
but we did find a
That's
winner.
awesome, James. Congratulations.
So next time, if we do something like this, if you guys want us to do more stuff like this, like, subscribe, ring that bell. No, but seriously though, give us some comments, some likes, some subscribes. The more we get, the more opportunity we'll have to do stuff like this. So, and
we're definitely down, and definitely between me and Josh, we have a ton of cool
stuff to give away. We got, that we can.
Hey,
it's no big deal.
Who can say that they own a copy of The Burbs signed by Courtney Gaines? Come on, you want that.
I want that. We're not going to give that away. I want that. So, cooler if it was signed by Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, but it's The Burbs, man.
Wasn't she the wife?
Yeah, she was his wife. Yeah, she was his wife. So Courtney Gaines is the son, like the grandson of the Creepy Neighbors. He was the one from Children of the Corn.
Gotcha.
So
that's pretty fucking cool.
Totally random.
Yeah. So I mean, the only other thing I want to say is just if you guys watched, if you guys listened, if you guys, however you guys are viewing us right now, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. We always appreciate it. This has been really fun. Since we've switched over, we just recently switched over to YouTube, and since we've switched over, we've noticed a tremendous difference. So just want to say thank you. And the newer episodes are still staying up on Spotify. It does only go back, I think, the previous 4 or 5 episodes now because we've kind of dumbed down Spotify because of how well YouTube is going. But we are still available on Spotify. So if you want to listen to this episode on there, feel free to do it that way. Or if you want to watch us on YouTube, feel free to like, subscribe, ring that bell, comment, all that fun shit. But yeah, we will be back in 2 weeks. Thank you guys so much for listening, watching. Always appreciate it.
Thanks,
Later.
man.